Okay, welcome back. I want to keep talking about elasticity and pick up with a new measure of elasticity called the price elasticity of supply. Now, before we get to the formula for price elasticity of supply, I want to review the formula for price elasticity of demand. And this is what we did together the last time we met physically as a class. So price elasticity of demand was percentage change. I got it in. Let's try that again. There we go. Percentage change in quantity demanded over the percentage change in price. That was price elasticity of demand, right? Price elasticity of demand. Now we have price elasticity of supply. So what do you think we have to change in this expression to get price elasticity of supply? Well, the only difference is that the D goes away and this becomes the quantity supplied. The percentage change in quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in price. That is how we calculate price elasticity of supply. We'll do the same as before. I'll give you percentage change in the quantity and the percentage change in price. So it's really just a matter of putting those in the right order and dividing the fraction, finding the answer. So just like before, I told you I would keep them simple so you could do them in your head. The way we're finishing the class, it's going to be open resource, so you can use your calculator, as well. So that won't be a stumbling block for you. But really, it's about putting them the numbers in the right order in the fraction and then interpreting the result. So if I told you that price goes up by 10% and the quantity supplied goes up by 7%, then you should be able to calculate the price elasticity of supply. You're going to say, all right, increase in price, that goes in the denominator, right? So you get a plus 10 down here. The increase, percentage change in quantity supplied, that's the plus 7 up here. And so you get positive 7 over 10, and that equals 0.7. Price elasticity of supply is always going to be positive, so you don't even have to worry about the negative sign here, because the law of supply, if you recall, supply is upward sloping. So as price increases, quantity increases as well. There's a direct relationship. Because of that, this answer will always be positive. Let's work a different example here. Get rid of these. There we go. Clear the board. This is as close to chalk as I get these days. So what if we said the price of something goes down by 10%, and then the amount that people are willing to bring to the market goes down by 14%. So let's put this together. We just need to build the fraction. The decrease in price, that goes in the denominator. So we'll put minus 10 in the bottom. Quantity supplied goes down by 14%. We'll put minus 14 in the top. Negative over negative still gives you a positive, right? And you get 14 over 10, or 1.4. So the price elasticity of supply is 1.4. We classify them the same way. You can have supply that is fairly inelastic and supply curves that are elastic. And it works the same way. Let's just use a little bit of the space up here. You can have a supply curve that looks like that. It's fairly steep. That actually shows a small change in quantity supplied for a given change in price. Or you could have a more elastic supply curve, right, that's flatter. Now, they both are upward sloping. There's still a direct relationship between price and quantity. But over here, it's much flatter. You could say the supply is more elastic. And that means that the value you get here, in this fraction, is going to be larger. So this supply curve that had an answer of 1.4, the price elasticity of supply was 1.4, that would be more elastic, that is more sensitive to price, right? Flatter than the example we did before, which was a 0.7, right? That answer is smaller. And so that suggests that the supply is more inelastic. And so we classify them the same way. You crank out the answer, you get an answer, you compare it to 1, take the absolute value of it, but they're already positive, so it doesn't actually do much. Compare it to 1, and if the answer is less than 1, we call it inelastic. And if it's greater than 1, we call it elastic. And also, like with demand, if it happens to be exactly equal to 1, then we would call it unit elastic. Right? That's the other possibility. So there you go. In a nutshell, that is price elasticity of supply. Very, very similar to price elasticity of demand. Just now we're looking at the change in quantity supplied for a given change in price. How big is that response?